Just talk about the weather. Go on, do it. Talk about the weather. Go on, talk about the weather then. But then also preferably they're sitting down in a group, because if they're sitting down alone, then maybe they just wanted that alone time. But then if they're sitting in a group, sometimes it's harder to go in the group. Whichever one, right? Whichever one. Yeah. So yeah, today I'm gonna be talking a little bit about how do you like make friends with other races. I think in the climate that we are in, we like, it's just been brought to my attention. I think a lot of people are not having conversations with people in other races because they just don't have those relationships there in the first place. So I'm just going to be talking about exactly how, from my personal experience, how I've gone about forming relationships with people from different races, and how you can do it too. You know, how can you do it? How can we all just like be a bit more unified in this world? Alright, cool. So first things first. Cue the time. You see someone that's a different race to you and you think, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna talk to that person, right? I've never spoken to this person. Like I've never really had a conversation. Maybe it's just been high biting. Yeah. Clock that person now, yeah? And I want you to basically sit next to them. Sit next to them. Now, this might be that you're sitting next to them at church, or you're sitting next to them at uni in the lecture room, or at college, or at lunchtime. You're gonna sit next to someone you don't usually sit next to, okay? Now, when the opportunity arises, you are going to engage in a conversation. Okay, you're going to engage in a conversation. Now that conversation might be about the thing that you're in. So as I said, whether it's work or church or whatever, and then I want you to quickly take it out of that. Okay, you're going to quickly take it out of the environment that you're in. So here's an example. You might want to talk about a book that you've recently read, or something that you've watched online, or something they might have watched online, or something that they might have recently read, or something that they might be interested in, what they might do on the weekend. Just get to know them as a person. Like, talk about something, but make sure it is not about the thing that you're in. So here's an example. I work in a school, right? So if I meet a new person, I'm not gonna necessarily, like, I might start off the conversation talking about school, but then very quickly I want to move it out of school, because that's my way of like building a relationship, friendship with someone. Do you understand? You want to quickly take it outside of that establishment. Take it outside of that establishment within the conversation. So as I said, maybe you're in the lecture room. I remember when I would when I was studying for my master's degree, and I might sit next to someone who I don't usually sit next to. I'm not going to sit next to them and start talking about maths immediately, or talking about the lecturer that's talking, that we don't like this guy that's talking. No, take it outside of that lecture room. Have a conversation about something that's outside of the thing that you're in. Okay. So that's my first, like, that's my first go-to. Like, that's what I always try and do, right? And then after you know you're starting to talk about things that is not related to your establishment, you're gonna now try and make sure you don't include the weather, because the moment you include the weather, you're done at it. You're done. Conversation done. If you want to finish your conversation, just talk about the weather. Go on, do it. Talk about the weather. Go on, talk about the weather then. Don't go and bring the weather into any conversation, please, guys. It's just dead. Like, I genuinely think when people talk about the weather, you're asking for a crack. You're asking me, you're basically saying, Yinka, eat these crackers. No, don't talk about the weather. Like, the weather is so dry. Like, it's such a dry conversation. Talking about the weather, you don't want to do that. You don't. So now you've finished talking about the weather, hopefully not, you want to go on to like maybe just round up the conversation, because obviously it's new, right? If the conversation happens to go on about other things, then just continue the conversation. But you know, if it's short and sweet, like, that's fine. What I would recommend doing is, when you now see that person in passing, or you see that person in the lift, or you see that person in the kitchen, talk about the thing that you spoke about first. Reference it, follow up. How is that book going, or how is that documentary going, or how's the family? Like, if you happen to have spoke about the family, but follow up from whatever you spoke about, okay? Follow it up, and then maybe you might want to use this as an opportunity to meet up or talk outside of the establishment. So maybe you might want to exchange emails, or you might want to exchange numbers, and you might want to talk over there, and then yeah, like just trying to talk, move it away from being face to face. Now you might want to take it online, talk over email, talk over message, talk over WhatsApp, right? Now the thing about WhatsApp or messaging, it's dry. Like, messaging can get really dry, especially when you don't know someone. So you're not actually getting their number to chat to them, or getting their email to like have a conversation, to have chat, like back and forth, right? You're actually doing that so that you can organize like what you might want to do face to face. So at that point, I'll be like, I'll get someone's number, and then I'll be like, okay, message them, and I'll be like, yo, do you want to meet up for like a coffee or something? Or do you want to meet up for like you know, a chat? Or do you want to go cinema? Or do you want to go gym with me? Or do you know what I mean? Like, message them for something. Don't just message for general gist, because it's gonna just be dead. Message them actually for like to do something, or maybe like, do you want to watch this thing together at 9 o'clock? Especially now we're in lockdown. Maybe like, do you want to watch this documentary together? You know, let's watch this and let's discuss how we think about it. Or do you want to do this together online? Or do you want to read this book and we can discuss? Like, message them about something, right? I recently made a new friend. I've literally just done this whole process that I'm speaking about, and like we've got like plans to meet up and cycle together. New friend, but this is like the framework that I've used, and it works for me every single blood clots time. Blood clots. But yeah, it works every single time. Yeah, so yeah, this is just my framework. Just a few like tips. Don't watch someone's age. Like, they might be like 60, they might be 10 years younger than you. Still try this process. I would recommend like just doing this with one person at a time. Try not to like try and make loads of friends at the same time. Just try like one at a time. And I'll also just try and, you know, use these opportunities and go into them without an agenda, just to simply develop relationships with people. Now, if you're a Christian, I think just doing this is a great way to build on how we might evangelize to people and tell people about Jesus. It's just a great way to just use as a model to tell people about Jesus. And I think in the current climate, with what's going on, I think Jesus is our solution. So yeah, I think rock with this if you want to rock with this, and if you don't, then I hope that you can be blessed by just making just the general tips on how to make friends, really, outside of your race. And yeah, it works even within your race. So yeah, try it. I'm just gonna really quickly recap. So first things first, get yourself out the bubble and just sit next to someone that is not the same race as you. Talk about something that has absolutely no relation to the establishment that you're currently in. Follow up through passing by, or, you know, just follow up the next time you see them. Follow up on whatever you was talking about when you first spoke to them. The fourth one, try and exchange details. Now when you do exchange details, actually use those details to do the fifth thing, which is like actually meet up, do something, whether it's online or whether it's in face-to-face. Actually plan to just do something. And this is how you develop relationships. This is, for me, how I develop my relationships, and this is how you like meet people and start conversations, really. This is exactly how I do it, and I hope this helps you. I hope you've liked this, and if you like more of these kind of how-tos, then get at me, people.